A charmed life shattered. John Carter always believed he was living the kind of life others envied. At 32, he had a stable job as a mechanic, a career he enjoyed and excelled in. His hands were calloused from years of honest work, his smile easy, his life grounded. He lived in a modest but lovely two-story house on the edge of town, surrounded by pine trees and rolling hills. And at the heart of it all was Sarah, his wife of 5 years. She was the woman who had stolen his heart with her wild chestnut curls and those warm hazel eyes that crinkled every time she laughed. That laugh, soft, melodic, had once made his worst days feel worth enduring. Their 5th anniversary was that evening, a milestone he'd looked forward to with quiet excitement. They had talked about kids, vacations, growing old together. Love to John had always been simple, trusting. Oh, and there was Mike, John's younger brother by 2 years. His confidant, his best friend. They had shared a room as kids, shared secrets, shared heartaches and triumphs. Mike had stood beside him on his wedding day, hand on his shoulder, eyes filled with pride. The three of them, John, Sarah and Mike, had always been close. Family dinners, game nights, backyard barbecues. A triangle of laughter and familiarity. But some triangles are not as stable as they seem. That Friday, the sky was streaked with gold as the sun began its descent. John had left work early, a rare treat. He had even told his boss he needed the time to make the evening perfect. He had picked up a bouquet of Sarah's favorite deep red roses and envisioned the night ahead. A candlelit dinner, soft music echoing through the living room, maybe a slow dance under dim lights. As he turned onto his street, his breath hitched. Mike's old blue sedan was parked in the driveway, angled carelessly like it didn't belong. A flicker of confusion passed through him. Mike hadn't mentioned coming by. Maybe he was dropping off an anniversary card, John reasoned, brushing aside the strange unease curling in his stomach. Still, a dull weight settled in his chest as he pulled in next to the car, killed the engine and stepped out, roses in hand. Gravel crunched beneath his boots as he made his way to the front door. The house was silent. Too silent. The air was heavy with the soft scent of lavender, Sarah's perfume, still hanging like a ghost. He slipped inside quietly, intending to surprise her. Maybe she was getting ready upstairs, unaware of his early return. He kicked off his shoes and tiptoed toward the staircase, his heart humming with anticipation. But then he heard it. Low, breathy moan, drifting from their bedroom. His stomach twisted, the roses trembling in his hand. He froze, listening. Another sound followed. A laugh, Sarah's laugh, but softer, drawn out in a way he hadn't heard before. He ascended the stairs slowly, each step a fresh bruise to his chest, the wood creaking beneath his weight like a warning he was too numb to heed. The door to the bedroom was cracked open, a narrow beam of light cutting through the dark hallway. He pushed it open. The world shattered. There, on the bed they had picked out together, where he had kissed her good night only hours before, was Sarah. Her bare back arched in ecstasy, her body tangled with Mike's. Mike, his brother, was shirtless, his hands clutching Sarah like she was his to hold. Neither noticed him at first. Not until the roses slipped from John's grip and hit the floor with a muted thud. Sarah's eyes snapped open. "John!" she gasped, scrambling to pull the blanket over her chest. Panic writhed on her face. Mike turned slowly, as if emerging from a nightmare. His face smeared with shame, tears already spilling. "John, I didn't mean for..." But the words never reached John. His breath came in shallow bursts, the room spinning as if the walls themselves were closing in. His heart pounded so hard it was deafening. "What? How could you?" he choked out, voice cracked, barely audible. "John, please, I can explain," Sarah whimpered, holding out her hand like it could bridge the growing chasm between them. "Don't," he hissed, venom slicing through that single word. He didn't want to see Mike. Didn't want to see the brother who once protected him reduced to this betrayal. He turned and bolted, the bedroom door slamming behind him like a gunshot. Outside, the cool night air rushed against his burning face. His hands trembled as he climbed into the truck. His vision was smeared with tears he hadn't noticed falling. Streets blurred. Street lights bled into the dark. His chest was heaving. The memory looped again and again. Sarah's body, Mike's face, their bed, their laughter, their lies. Every shared memory had turned toxic. The cookouts, the wedding, the nights Sarah had come home late and claimed she was just tired. How long had this been happening? Every laugh they had shared with him now felt like a dagger, twisted deep. He drove past the river, the water black and glinting. And then came the scream, animal, guttural, ripping from his chest. He slammed his fists against the dashboard, desperate to force the pain out of him. But the betrayal wasn't just emotional. It was physical. It was flesh. It was warping him. And then came a darker thought. Margaret, Sarah's mother. A widow in her early 50s with kind eyes, a warm laugh, and a fondness for John. She had always treated him like a son. Too many glances had passed between them over the years. Too many lingering touches on the shoulder. And now he was broken. Maybe he didn't care. Maybe it would be justice. Twisted, symbolic. Sarah adored her mother. If he wanted to strike back, this was how. By the time he reached her house, he wasn't even sure what he was doing. Margaret opened the door in a navy robe, her silver-streaked hair loose around her shoulders. "John," she gasped, "you look like hell." He stepped inside, words tumbling out, halting, breathless. When she learned the truth, she covered her mouth in horror. "My God! Sarah and Mike." Her voice was tight, raw with disbelief. She sat beside him on the couch, her hand curling over his knee. And in that charged silence, something unspoken broke open. He leaned forward, kissed her. She didn't pull away. It was fast, messy, painful. A spiral of heat and sorrow, of seeking comfort where it didn't belong. Clothes shed. Boundaries broken. A rush of sensation, of revenge. Of grief wrapped in desire. But as dawn crept through the blinds, and the ceiling fan whirred above them, the silence returned. Heavy. Real. John stared up at the cracked ceiling. Margaret curled beside him. This wasn't victory. It wasn't peace. It was betrayal of another kind. Of himself. He rose, dressed silently. Margaret stirred. "John. I'm sorry," he whispered. "This was a mistake." "No," she said, sitting up. "You don't have to apologize. I wanted it to. But what now?" "I don't know." He left. The early morning chill slapped against his face. His truck groaned to life. He didn't go home. Couldn't. Instead, he checked into a rundown motel with flickering lights and water-stained walls. He lay on the creaky bed, staring at the ceiling. Alone. Everything gone, his marriage, his family, his identity. Revenge had tasted sweet for a moment. Now it was ash in his mouth. And as sleep finally claimed him, the only thing certain was that the road ahead would be a long crawl through grief, healing, and reckoning with the man he was, and the man he hoped to become.